You just communicate with the guys, then just jump and then switch back over for the start of the race.
Yep. Yep.
Good
What
man.
time is it? Yep, I'll be over in a moment, Sciences. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Yep, I'll be over in a moment, Sciences.
And then switch back over for the start of the race.
Yep.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Scientist Reverse Grid League. This is the Newton League, which runs every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. with race start at 8:45 p.m. I am the Scientist, and joining me shortly in the commentary box will be the Prince of Monaco, King Eskimo, who's just communicating with the guys in the lobby right now. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the Scientist Reverse Grid League format, it is a reverse grid league, so the race positions from the previous race dictate the starting grid for the next race. So the last race we had, I believe, was in Singapore, and the winner from that race was Wisburn, so he'll be starting towards the back for this race in USA. And so the results from this race in USA will then dictate the grid for the second race in Vietnam later tonight. So we're starting at the Circuit of the Americas tonight, a track notoriously bad for keeping to track limits, particularly through Sector 1. And hopefully King Eskimo will be jumping in the party chat. So we've got a few new drivers making their debuts in the league tonight. You can see our competitors there on the right hand side. So our debutants in the league tonight are Jaden in the Racing Point, Mirko in the McLaren, and Josef in the Ferrari, and Benjamin in the Mercedes. So 4 debutants tonight, and Ice Clee is reserving tonight in the Red Bull. So many thanks to Ice Clee for stepping in. As we load up the grid. Eskimo, are you here in the party chat?
I am here. Hey, Scientist.
Yeah, I already built up the big introduction for you, so hello Eskimo. Thank you for joining us on commentary tonight, and you've been keeping a close eye on the Newton League for the past few weeks, so what can you tell us about this league?
Well, this one, close battles up the top with Mitch and Neil. Mitch, unfortunately, not in this race, so Neil's going to be able to, or possibly, take advantage of this one. Apart from that, down the midfield, Desert Rat, David Joel, and Psychopath always having close battles. And especially now, Racing Point have a new teammate for Neil, so maybe they can push a bit more further ahead. But yeah, an exciting league overall.
And I just got your message there that you forgot to spectate, so you're done the Martin Brundle and doing the grid walk with these guys, and.
Yes.
But it is what it is. So I have a feeling you're going to have to somehow retire on lap 1, but I've done the same mistake anyway. So let's have a quick look at the championship standings for the league while the formation lap's underway. So DRS Neil is our championship leader on 252 points, followed by Mitch, who you've already said is not racing tonight. He's on 248, so a very close battle between those two guys. And let's not rule out Wisburn, who's in third on 212 points. So he might factor into this championship battle. Then we've got a big gap back towards Spaceman, who's on the injured list, and then Desert Rat. And in the Constructors' Championship, we've got another very tight battle between Racing Point and Renault, and DRS Neil in the Racing Point and Mitch in the Renault, so close battle between those two teams and those two drivers. So for
Wisburn definitely has an opportunity in this first race to make up those points on Mitch.
So let's have a quick look at the tyre strategy as I get the telemetry data up on the screen. So we've got Jimmy Hunt in the Haas, Mirko, Jaden, Ice and DRS Neil all on the medium tyres, everyone else on the soft compounds. and you can see our pole position man, Merle's the Wizard, who was the last classified finisher in the previous race, so as per the rules of the Reverse Grid League, he starts on pole. And our winner last time out, I think, was Wisburn. Was I? Or maybe I... Oh, something... I didn't realise DRS Neil must have disconnected because he's starting right at the back, so...
Yeah, unfortunately he dropped out.
Yeah.
I did send him a few invites back.
Yeah. It is what it is. But Wisburn, despite winning out last time, starts third because we had a lot of drivers in the lobby last week who aren't actually here. Mitch is one of them. Hill Train is another one. And everyone lines up on the grid ready for the start, so hopefully you can spectate as soon as possible, Eskimo, as we reach 5 lights. We're going to get the tradition. Oh, we don't get the glitch, and we're underway in the Circuit of the Americas. And they all file down to turn 1. Merrill's holding his line, but the Haas of Desert Rat is through into the lead, and we've got some contact at the back. It looked like it was between the 2 Racing Point cars. And Eskimo in his Mercedes. let's leave that. So at the front we've got Desert Rat making an excellent start up into P1. And we've got Ice in the Red Bull going slowly. He must have picked up damage. Very hot. The camera angle doesn't really help around this first sector to keep track of the battles, but Rat is beginning to pull a huge gap to Merle's the Wizard, and we've got the Professor and David de Jol, and there's contact with Professor. A bit of the Renault end plate flying up in the air there as they head down this long back straight. David de Jol's made up a fantastic start and is in the slipstream of Wisburn, heading down to the heavy braking zone. Wisburn holds his line. Let's have a quick look at position changes. So David de Jol up 1. Mirko has made the biggest gain of all 4 places up from his position. Fantastic start for him in the McLaren. And let's have a quick look. Desert Rat has done a Verstappen and checked out front. Merle's the Wizard in P2. Wisburn and David de Jol having a very tasty battle already. And is the AlphaTauri having a look down the inside? No, not quite. As they head down the start finish straight for the end of the first lap. A relatively clean first couple of laps, apart from a couple of end plates flying. And the leaderboard is beginning to glitch out. We've got a ghosted Ferrari on track somewhere. I wonder if that's Josef. I think had connection issues. Yeah, his car's ghosted, so... In fact, both Ferraris are ghosted. Or actually, maybe a lobby glitch. Yeah, the leaderboard, it's all over the place. Hope Codemasters get this sorted for the next game. But it is Desert Rat who is our leader.
I'm back with you,
So, Eskimo, you had a first-hand view of the craziness of the first turn. What was your perspective on that?
Overall it looked very bunched up, but no safety car, which is beautiful. So yeah, good result.
And David de Jol has disposed of Wisburn without DRS at this stage because this is lap 2, so he was using the sheer pace there and the slipstream without the DRS. So David de Jol showing some strong early pace, and he's going pulling a nice move on Merle's a Wizard. That was a very good move, and Merle's runs wide and is now vulnerable to attack from Wisburn behind in the Alfa Romeo. So now David de Jol will be hunting down Desert Rat, who's already 3 seconds up the road. And so a good first couple of opening laps for those guys, and we've got the first of the penalties, this for Merle's the Wizard and for Benjamin further back down the order. Any tasty battles ongoing, Eskimo, that you can see?
Yeah. Mirko and Joseph currently. Joseph's just taken Mirko pretty cleanly, but it looks like he might be able to fight back, maybe.
And the 2 racing points, so Jaden and his championship leader teammate DRS Neil in 9th and 10th, and Jaden is surely going to have DRS on Psychopath heading in as they head into the long back straight. Jaden on the medium tyres. So the Mirko and Jaden both started on the mediums. They've made up some... Oh, that was... quick change of direction there from Jaden to react to Psychopath's defence, and he gets through into P8. Feel free to interrupt me if you catch anything catches your eye, Esteban.
Yep.
So things have settled down a little bit. Desert Rat leads. His lead has been cut by half a second on this lap, followed by David de Jol. Merles is holding on to P3 with Wisburn close behind. The Professor is pitting in P5. He pits from P5, so I wonder if he's maybe wanting to get his front wing repaired, because I believe it was his front wing that took damage. And Benjamin has retired. What happened to Benjamin? We missed that. Don't know if he lost it towards the end of the lap. Let's have a look at the Professor. Is he getting a front wing change? It looks like he is. Onto the medium tyres. We've got full course yellow. Any idea if the safety car has been deployed? They all look as if they're following a Delta at the moment.
Yeah, virtual safety car at the minute. Virtual safety car.
Okay. So that was obviously for Benjamin's DNF. Which we weren't able to catch on stream. And yeah,
that
everyone's...
safety car just saved Psychopath, because Neil was about to make a big move on him there, but you can see Neil is teeing up to go for it in a minute.
And we're back underway. DRS is enabled, and Psychopath's managed to actually get DRS despite falling a little bit back from Jaden. And we've got a position change between Merles the Wizard and Wisburn. Wisburn up to P3. And that move looked like it was on the cards for the last couple of laps. And so Wisburn now has a little bit of clear air in front of him, and will hopefully try to join the battle between Desert Rat and David de Jol up front. So the Professor back in P12 after making that early pit stop. He might be able to undercut a lot of these guys, actually. That'd be one hell of an undercut. And Merles has left the session.
Right.
Connection issues. His car's ghosted. And the Ferrari is just going to fly past the AI controlled Merles the Wizard. So Merles will no doubt hopefully be able to rejoin the session, and Jaden is closing in on Mirko.
He is all over him. All over him.
And these are the medium runners, Mirko, Jaden and DRS Neil, all in the medium tyres. So, and they're showing pretty good pace at this stage of the Grand Prix, it has to be said. And you can imagine that towards the end of the race they're going to be super fast on the soft tyres, and Jaden's got DRS on Mirko, and that is a fairly straightforward overtake, and it looks like they're taking the ghosted Wizard with them, and there's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Harry Potter must go home.
So unfortunately for Wizard, he's fallen down the order because of connection issues. And let's have a quick look up front. So Desert Rat is maintaining that gap to David de Jol, so he's doing a really good job there. And Wisburn can't make any inroads on David de Jol either, so it'll all come down to the pit stops, I think, for those three guys. And Josef, for the 3 seconds behind Wisburn, is fairly comfortable in that position. And we've got a penalty for David de Jol, so penalties may play a big factor in the outcome of this race, which we'll take a look at towards the end. But that could be crucial. That gives Desert Rat maybe a little bit of breathing space up front, provided he keeps it clean and on the tarmac.
Oh, we've got a little battle going on between Jimmy and Psychopath as well, down at the back end of the field. Jimmy pushing up in the hash. Oh.
Yeah, he got a good exit there, didn't he? And looks like that's going to be taking candy from a baby with that overtake. Nothing Psychopath can do to defend that. He didn't make it easy for him.
Nope. Job done.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, and somewhere in the midst of that, DRS Neil's managed to get past Mirko, and I'm not sure why DRS Neil's in AI, and now Mirko's been able to overtake DRS Neil. DRS Neil went to AI very briefly there, I'm not sure why.
Oh, sip of coffee, boil the kettle.
Oh, and oh, sorry to interrupt, Jessica, we've got Wisburn in the pits, so the first of the front runners in the pits, and he looks set to gain a lot of points in the championship battle, with Mitch not racing just now, and DRS Neil having a fairly lackluster race this evening so far. So Wisburn looking to get the undercut on Rat and the Joel, and he comes out in P9 with a good amount of clean air to get in to make the most of these medium compound tyres. So will Desert Rat and David de Joel react to that pit stop from Wisburn? And the closest battle on track is between Mirko and DRS Neil. These two are fairly close on track. And DRS is DRS is going to use the DRS. And is that a Haas behind Mirko? Where did that Haas come from?
Oh!
Wow! One, two overtakes. So Mirko goes from P5 to P7 in the blink of an eye. That Haas came out of nowhere.
You forgot to close the door there.
Yeah, but yeah. But the good thing for these, I think Jimmy's already made a pit stop, I believe. Let's have a look at the stops. Oh no, he hasn't actually. So he started on the mediums as well. Have I got the? Yeah. So and David de Joel's now in the pits. Stuck the medium tyres on. Has Wisburn been able to undercut him? Where's Wisburn? No, David de Joel comfortably ahead of Wisburn. Let's get the interval back up on the tyres. And the Professor's managed to, so we talked about the Professor having pitted really early on, and he's managed to undercut the Ferrari and the Wizard. So he's managed to make up 2 places, and we've got another penalty for David de Joel. And Desert Rat now has a 15-second lead, with Jaden and DRS Neil still to pit to go on the soft tyres. So
Professor as well potentially could make up a few more spaces, because there's only 2 in front of him that have pitted already. The top 4 it looks like they haven't pitted yet, so he's going to push. Oh, Joseph takes him there.
And Desert Rat picks up his first penalty. So 8 over till it's over. Desert Rat carries on, so he's done 8 laps on his soft tyres. So that's quite a long stint for those tyres. Jaden P2 on the mediums. Strong performance on debut for him tonight. And DRS Neil is in the pits. And David de Joel is through into 3rd place. So let's see, David de Joel is about 18 seconds behind Desert Rat. So he might make the undercut work if he carries on this, keeps the pace up. Mirko in P4, Whisper in P5, Yosef in P6. And we've got another few penalties coming in. We've got Merrill's, the Wizard, and Ice in the pits just now, doing their mandatory pit stop. So it's 25% race distance. You have to make a mandatory pit stop to use both set of compound tyres.
We're going to see how Neil's going to go now. He's on the softs, fresh softs, 5 laps left. It's turned into a 5 lapper for him now. We know he's got the pace. Let's see what he can do.
He's got Jimmy Hunt right behind him. They must have pitted at around the same time. So this will be an interesting battle. Let's have a quick look up front. Desert Rat is coming into the pits now. So onto the medium tyres. Now let's cut back to David DeJoel, who is coming through the final couple of turns now. And you know what, Eskimo, I think this undercut has worked.
Is he going to make it? Ooh.
That is just coming out the pits now. DeJoel puts the fastest lap of the race in, and he's done the undercut on Desert Rat comfortably. Well, what a masterful strategy from the AlphaTauri team there. Or more specifically from David DeJoel.
Yeah.
And he's essentially reversed the intervals, so Desert Rat was around about 2.5 seconds ahead of DeJoel before the pit stops, and now DeJoel was 2.5 seconds ahead of Desert Rat. So that's an outstanding drive from him. But of course penalties might come into play, but we'll take a look at that with a couple of laps to go maybe. So the next person to pit is probably Mirko, who's on his 9-lap-old medium tyres. And he's heading on the back straight now. And Wisburn is surely going to inherit third place when Mirko pits for the soft tyres.
And Wisburn's still without penalties as well, and so it'll be the front two with 6 seconds, so if he can push, he's got a chance.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a very good point, Eskimo. And the Professor, yeah, he must be showing really strong pace, because he was at the back after a couple of laps and has managed to undercut a hell of a lot of guys. So the undercut in USA is very, very powerful. But you've got to have the pace to back it up as well.
Yeah, he's putting in some decent lap times, so he's really pushing.
He's under pressure from the Racing Point behind, who's on the soft tyres, so... And maybe a fait accompli that he's going to probably lose a position. And who's that in the pits? That's Mirko. So Mirko's sticking on the soft tyres now, so he's lost out to Jaden, Jimmy and DRS Neil, but I think he was overtaken by those two guys on track before, so that makes sense. And oh, the Professor and Neil battling it out through Sector 1, and you can just see how much more grip the soft tyre guys have got at this point. And Jimmy watching this battle, let's ride on board with Jimmy as he takes a huge chunk of curb there, runs wide, compromises his exit, but still has DRS. And Neil is
making the move.
Yeah. Professor, I think, did the right thing. Was smart. He knew he was never going to be able to withstand the DRS. Big lock up from Zoo as they come through this very tricky section here. Heavy braking zone, and then whoa, that was. Yeah, that's a good demonstration there of how much grip those soft tyres give you. And that was a very brave overtake. And Professor did very well to keep out of the way there and not get any further damage. So, good driving there from Jimmy Hunt and Professor. Wow, what an action-packed race, Eskimo.
It is. And it looks like Desert Rat is gaining on David DeJoel.
You're absolutely right, yeah, it's about 1.5 seconds behind now. But he has to overtake him on track if he wants the race win. Yeah. And with Wisburn around about 9 seconds, 8 to 9 seconds behind these two, this is the battle for the race win. So let's see if he can get in DRS range of David DeJoel. And Neil is now alright on the back of the Ferrari, so he's going to surely inherit 4th place with DRS.
Oh, sells in the dummy. Beautiful.
And that's
Oh my goodness.
excellent driving from everyone on the grid tonight. I've been very, very impressed with the quality of driving here.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Beautiful, clean race.
and Desert Rat has maybe thrown away the win now because he's got another penalty. So he's got 9 seconds. So now David Dejol can maybe breathe a little easier as he starts the penultimate lap in his AlphaTauri. Just don't take any chances. The gap's now back up to 2.5 seconds, so Rat obviously made a mistake in that last lap, and he's probably conceded defeat now with the extra set of penalties, and now Wisburn will be looking at that and thinking, I've got a chance of P2 here, not instead of P3.
100%. 100%.
Oh, and Jimmy all over the back of the Ferrari, but has got another penalty, so he's going to lose out a few positions on penalties, I think. But these guys on the soft tires are absolutely flying.
Yeah, DRS Neil, he's made up so many positions since he's fitted as well. He's on the back of Wisburn almost. Another lap. Oh, I don't know, Sinus. He might be able to get in here.
And Jimmy's going to pull off a late dive onto Josef. He goes around the outside, hoping to get the inside line for the next corner, and that's a beautiful overtake. Absolutely wonderful. And I think Josef realised that the guy behind me is on the faster tyre. He had the DRS and he's got a shitload of penalties anyway, so that was very clever. It was very clever just to back out. You got to pick and choose your battles when, particularly on a track such as this, where penalties are handed out willy-nilly. And further back, we've got a nice little battle between between Merle's Wizard and Psychopath, battling at the lower end of the point scoring positions, and it looks like the Wizards managed to get through on the Ferrari there. We're on the final lap now, Eskimo.
Yep.
Any
yeah, I mean, I'm on board with Neil at the moment. He is gaining rapidly on Wisburn. He might get him. He's chopping the time off.
This is two championship rivals here, so they'll be trying to score as many points as they can, and particularly given that Mitch isn't here as well, so. And let's have a look at this DRS battle. I think Wisburn has got it in hand. Oh, look at the closing speed.
Oh my God!
That was insane. The overspeed there with the DRS was absolutely incredible. Wisburn's running low on fuel, so has he got enough to get to the end as David Dejol approaches the final corner and takes a fantastic win at the Circuit of the Americas with a brilliant strategy, undercutting Desert Rat. So a fantastic win for him. Desert Rat made the start was what made it for him. P2.
Oh, Neil's binned it!
Oh!
Oh!
I just caught the end of that. He's lost front wing. Wisburn holds on to P3. DRS Neil still gets P4 despite that late attempt to get to the podium. His Racing Point teammate Jaden on debut, fantastic P5. Josef P6 in the Ferrari. Jimmy P7. Professor P8. Mirko P9. Merles will cross the line in P10 but will fall back behind Psychopath due to penalties. And Ice will finish in P. Well, actually, we'll jump to both of them. Wow, what a race, Eskimo. That was a great finish.
That was a great race.
And our driver of the day, DRS Neil.
Yeah. He put in an immense effort, especially with the disconnect and starting further back as well.
There we go, David Dejol. That was a fantastic strategy he pulled off to get Desert Rat. The undercut there working beautifully for him. as the champagne is sprayed onto the Texans below. So there,
will be back in a moment.
no problem, Eskimo. So there's our classified order. David Dejot winning, followed by Deseret and Wisburn. So Wisburn getting the most points out of their championship rivals. Mitch has joined the lobby, so business is picked up in the lobby. So unfortunately our two DNF, well, our only one DNF in the race, which was Benjamin on debut tonight. Hopefully he can have a better race in Vietnam. So for the next race, Merles the Wizard will be starting on pole, followed by Psychopath and Ice. So that's how the reverse grid works, just like Formula 2, except we extend it all the way down the grid. So we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute break before the next Grand Prix. So thanks for joining us for USA. Let's hope we have an equally entertaining and action-packed race as we did here. the medium runners, Mirko, Jaden and DRS Neil, all in the medium tyres, so they're showing pretty good pace at this stage of the Grand Prix. Jaden's got DRS on Mirko, and so unfortunately for Wizard, he's very powerful. But you've got to have the pace to back it up as well.
Yeah, he's putting in some decent lap times.
Hello everyone, we're just having a wee break before the start of the next race in Vietnam. Just had a little bit of feedback about the stream. If you're hearing a beep tone in the background, that's my PS4 preparing for takeoff or landing. God knows. It's yeah, I don't know how to adjust the audio mix to get rid of that. It's not as if I'm sitting fairly close to it. I'm actually on my sofa and my PS4's a good 2 meters away, so I'm socially distant from my PS4 at the moment, and I am not wearing a mask. I'm not COVID positive, thankfully. Yeah, it is what it is. Any advice on how to adjust the audio mix, then that would be appreciated. Or I could not be a tight ass and go and buy myself a PS5. So I think we're going to start in the next couple of minutes, so I could just run you through the grid while we're here. So where is the Wizard? Is he in the lobby? I don't think he is. I think the Wizard should be starting on pole. Let's get him back in. Oh yes, yeah, there he is. He's just joined now. So the Wizard is on pole, and then Psychopath, Ice, Mirko, Professor, Yosef, Jaden, DRS Neil, Wisburn, Deseret, and David Dijol, our winner from USA. And then starting at the back will be Benjamin, who DNF'd, and Mitch, who was not racing in USA but is here now for Vietnam. So maybe he wishes it was the other way around. So Vietnam, a track whose memory will probably be condemned forever to the F1 2020 video game, since it's no longer on the Grand Prix calendar, and amid all the controversy surrounding its inception, it will probably never see a Grand Prix in our lifetime. But who knows? As one wise person once said, in Formula 1 you never know. Now that I've ticked that particular box, it looks to me like everyone is beginning to ready up. And Eskimo will be joining me in the commentary box shortly, hopefully spectating this time and not starting at the back. But I've done that before, it's easy done. So my Eskimo's just communicating with the lobby. So it was a very enjoyable race to watch actually and commentate on, and USA was good driving throughout the field. We've lost Jimmy Hunt for the second race as he's had to duck out, but he had a eventful race. I think DRS Neil picked up the fastest lap as well as driver of the day, so that's a couple of extra points for him, which will be crucial in his championship battle with Mitch and potentially Wisburn, who is a little further back. One of the other drivers in Newton League, Firecop, has recently switched to Darwin League. He was well in that championship battle as well, but no longer for him. And I believe Eskimo is back in the commentary box with me.
Yep, hey there, scientist.
How you doing, mate? So, what were your thoughts on that previous race in USA?
It was exciting. I did enjoy it. I thought Neil done an absolutely outstanding job. And then, like you were pointing out when you were following the leaders, the Joel and Desert Rat battle, incredible as well. That was really, really good racing. Let's see what Vietnam brings us. Oh my goodness. At least it's not raining. There we go.
Yeah, I think everyone will be relieved at that. So I was just saying to our audience that this track will probably condemned to the memory of the F1 2020 video game, and we'll never see the light of day or never see a Formula 1 car on track, at least in our lifetime, but hopefully. You never know. You never know. So what can we expect from Vietnam, Eskimo?
Well, I mean, that first corner, I hope they do. If they can get away cleanly, it's going to be that first car out of there is going to be very important. But I'm thinking with Mitch starting at the back, we know he's got pace. He's missed the first race. He's going to be pushing very hard. So I think we're going to see a good battle at the back there between Mitch and Neil.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be on a mission to try and make up the deficit to missing out in the last race, because with the championship battle being so tight between those two, missing a race could be the difference between finishing in first or second. And they're battling in the constructors as well, so they'll be the Renault team, the Racing Points, they'll be battling hard. So let's have a quick look at the tyre strategies everybody's opting for as we get the telemetry data up. Wow.
Oh.
That's a lot of medium runners. And look who's at the back on the soft tyres. You said he was hoping to make an aggressive start. He's certainly doing that by choosing the softs, but probably banking for an early safety car as well.
Oh yeah, I mean the medium runners, if there's an early safety car, those guys are... that's going to be an interesting situation. It's going to be potentially a two-stopper for all of those guys.
Yeah, maybe banking on more than one safety car. The hard tyres are not really the favourable compound for 25% races, but it can work on certain tracks. France springs to mind, and China as well. Tracks that are particularly high with high deg. But street circuits traditionally, you want to try and get the softs out of the way, don't you? So that's interesting that pretty much 85% of the field have gone for the mediums. So Merle's the Wizard, by virtue of being the last classified finisher in USA, is on pole, and our race winner David Dejeau starting in P11. And Benjamin starts P12 because he DNF'd the last race, and Mitch in P13 because he missed the last race. So that's how the reverse grid system works, for those who are not familiar with the format. And thank you again for tuning in to watch the stream tonight.
Mitch really slowing up at the back there. He wants to get a bit of heat in those softs. I think he's going to go at the start. He is going to go for it big time. I've got a feeling.
Yeah, you're right enough. He is taking his time. So it's a long track, Vietnam. A good lap time round here is about 1 minute 35, 36. On race pace, you're probably looking at the high 130s, low 140s. So it's a long lap, and so Mitch is really taking his time, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
So let's see how he does coming through the back as he nearly takes out the guy waving the green flag at the back there. And we've got a connection issue for Benjamin, so we might get a jump start from his car, which has happened before. But we've got the 5 lights, we've got the ghosted car making way, making hay like the sunshine, so we'll take that into account later. And we're underway. Let's see who survives turn 1. And Merles gets through. And there's a Ferrari and a Renault side by side, and the McLaren of Mirko gets the jump on the Renault and the Ferrari, so that's a good start. How is Mitch doing? Mitch has already jumped DRS Neil.
Yeah.
And they're all taking it very, very tentatively through this long straight. So everyone, I think, got through okay.
Oh, big overtake from Mitch. Oh, how many did he overtake? He's overtaken three cars through that corner. Oh no.
Oh, it's all going a bit clusterfucky at the back there. But Merle's got the perfect start. Mirko on the softs as well, so the soft runners making up the places as we expected. But in the first few laps, you just want to keep it clean, and there's a contact at the back there between a Haas. That's Desert Rat and David Dejot resuming their battle from USA. And DRS Desert Rat is falling right to the back, so I think he's picked up damage. We've had a brief yellow flag. And the 2 racing points down at the back of the field as well. But I think Desert Rat has got in-play damage, so he will need to come in.
Yep.
And Ben's ghosted car has been overtaken now by the front runners. And we've got an overtake from Wisburn on Professor into turn 1, so Wisburn moving up a place. And we've got pits. We've got we've got the P1 and 2 from the last race in the pits already, Eskimo.
So
yeah. The contact must have been between David Dejot and Desert Rat, so David Dejot on the hards, and it looks like Desert Rat's putting the soft tyres on. Yes, he is.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And everyone just literally driving through the ghosted Mercedes there of Benjamin. So let's see how David Dejot does on these hard tyres now. He's pretty much out of sync with everybody now. And we've got Merrill. Oh, that's a big dive bomb from the McLaren, and he's gone into the wall. Oh, that was a very ambitious overtaking attempt by Mirko. He overshot the hairpin and has possibly got front wing damage. Yes, he does. End-plate damage on the right side of his front wing. So that's a costly mistake by Mirko there. Maybe got a little bit excited. Had a little bit of overspeed on Merles the Wizard. And we'll probably need to make a trip to the pits.
Yeah, I think he got a bit wah-wah-wee-wah on that one. Oh, and Wisburn as well now into the back of Mirko. He might also have picked up... No, he hasn't picked up damage. Wisburn's really pushing at the back of Mirko now.
And is he going to try and make an overtake into turn 1? No, he stays behind. Maybe he wants to wait to use the DRS on the long straights. The two straights, the first of these coming up right about now. So he has got DRS activation now. So will he make it, or will he bide his time and wait until the next DRS? So Mirko managed to pull away a little bit there. So with the damage to his front wing, ironically, he's maybe got better drag. So let's have a look. Yeah, he's got good exit speed there. So we've got a yellow flag in sector 2, and it's the Ferrari of Yosef. Now pointing the wrong way, so he might have had contact with somebody. We'll have to maybe see in the incident report later. So.
And it doesn't look like he's got any damage though.
Psychopath. Oh, Psychopath and the Professor there having a nice battle. And Psychopath loved that Professor there. But oh, and Mitch down the inside. That was an extremely aggressive overtake by Mitch, but he's desperate to make up positions on these soft tyres. To be fair, the gap was there for Mitch to take, so a very opportunist move from him. And Wisburn and Mirko's in the pits now, and the Professor. And Mirko's got a speeding pit lane penalty. So in all that carnage, Merrill's has built up a fairly substantial lead of 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, he is pushing, he's pulling away, he's doing really well. Biggest gainer so far though, Mitch up 10 spaces.
Wow. On lap 4. Incredible. And the Ferrari is under threat from the two Pink Panthers, Jaden and DRS Neil. Both DRS. Bit of a DRS train going on here, and it's heavy braking from Psychopath. So the Ferrari holding up the Racing Point boys, but I imagine Jaden got a really good exit speed there, and he's got 88% ERS, so he's going to use some of that with the DRS, and surely, but Psychopath's got DRS himself off the back of Mitch. And not quite able to make the overtake there. Oh, Psychopath lost traction there a little bit. So DRS, Neil, all just watching this battle between Jaden and Psychopath. Psychopath defending for his life at the moment. Oh, and heavy brake, a big lock up from the Ferrari as they come through these last couple of corners here. Merrill's has extended his lead up to 7.7 seconds.
Yeah, he's doing a great job out front, a great job. And
I think Mitch has maybe tipped off Psychopath here because he's doing well to hold off his championship rival and his teammate. But Psychopath's not that far behind Mitch, to be fair. So he's got DRS, and that's how he's able to keep the Racing Point boys behind him. So we could potentially see a 3 wide car battle going down this back straight. So I'm just watching this battle between the Racing Point and the Ferrari, and Jaden takes the inside line on the straight, flies past Psychopath, and DRS.
Oh.
Wow. Well, Psychopath maybe lost a little bit of time to Mitch and wasn't able to use DRS to defend. He was practically sitting up there, and so the two Racing Points now up in 4th and 5th. And Mitch is closing in on Wisburn, but will now have a sea of pink in his mirrors. Oh, and he pits. And is he followed by anybody behind? No, he isn't. So how's David DeJoel doing on those hard tyres? He's back in 8th. Is he going to get the undercut on Mitch here? Oh, Mitch has got front wind damage.
Oh.
Yeah, front wind repairs for Mitch, and so that's cost him time. David DeJoel. Oh. And David, what was that, Eskimo?
David DeJoel put it in the wall a little tap of the wall there. Don't know if he's picked up. Yeah, he has picked up front end plate damage. Wow. Front end plate damage. End plate damage. He has picked up damage.
I'm just having a. Doesn't look too bad. It might just be very minor yellow, but he's managed to get the jump on Mitch, so he must be pumping in the lap times on those hard tyres to manage to be able to leapfrog Mitch. And Desert Rat's actually done the same, but he's on the soft tyres. So he will definitely need to pit again. Those won't get to the end. Meanwhile, up front, Merles is still has got a nice, comfortable 8-second lead over Wisburn, and it's now the 2 racing points in the mirrors of the Alpha of Wisburn. And then in 5th place we've got Psychopath in the Ferrari. Ice having a very quiet but controlled, composed race in P6. David Dejeau in 7th, Deseret 8th, Mitch 9th, Professor Zhu, Mirko in P11, who hasn't really recovered from his botched overtake on Psychopath. And we've got Benjamin is still ghosted, and Josef back in P13 after his spin. And we've got the race leader in the pits. Coming out the pits, in fact. Behind the Wizard. But crucially, Wisburn gets out in front of David Dejeau. Did you see someone, Eskimo?
No. I was just watching, I was on board with Jaden watching if Mitch could catch him, but it looks like that front wing change definitely cost him huge on that one.
So our front three of DRS, Neil, Psychopath and Ice all still have to pit, so Merles is your net race leader, and this would be an absolutely fantastic result for him if he can keep up this pace. But Wisburn is on those soft tyres, having started on the mediums, so he will be hunting down the Williams, and you have to think he will definitely have the pace advantage, and within the next 7 laps he might well be looking at an overtake on the Wizard. So just the 1 penalty, and I think that was the speeding, wasn't it, for Mirko, wasn't it? So yeah, let's have a... Okay, so we got the front 3 pitting now. DRS, Neil, let's have a look, see if any of them are going to get front wing repairs. DRS, Neil's fine. Psychopath's getting a new front wing. Ice is okay, so Ice is going to leapfrog Psychopath here in the pits. Yep, he does.
David Joel as well, I'm just watching his lap, he's putting in some really decent lap times on those hards. Really decent.
Oh, he brought a little brush with the wall again from David Dejeau. I think he might have damaged his end plate now. I can't quite see with that AlphaTauri livery.
No, he hasn't. Oh,
no.
Lucky boy. Again.
Yeah. And we've got a time penalty. Oh, he spun it! David Dejeau's lost it! Oh! That's absolutely gutting for him, and the Renault thankfully ghosting is on, because the Renault literally drove right through, and all of David Dejeau's hard work pumping in those lap times has been thrown away, and I think he was simply trying too hard. He just lost it on the exit of that tricky horseshoe hairpin. Well, I don't know what you would want to call it, but it certainly looks like a horseshoe of some kind.
Yeah.
So let's have a look up. Oh, and we've got and the battle between Wisburn and the 2 racing points has resumed, and in fact Wisburn's closed to within 2 seconds of the Wizard, so we could end up potentially with a 4-car battle for the win. But Jaden has got so much more pace, and DRS on the straight. I forgot about the DRS on the start-finish straight.
And that's a nutty place, isn't it? Into an awful corner. Stick all the DRS.
Yeah. Yeah, overspeed will send you into the wall.
Holy moly.
So Jaden's got that time penalty, so that's going to affect his finishing position relative to others around him. And Mitch might be ruining his decision to start on the softs now, because he's only in 5th and 8 seconds behind his championship rival Neil, and even further behind Wisburn. So he's going to lose out big time. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1, and I'm not quite sure who that was for. Oh, and DRS has got past, but both of the racing points are past Alpha on the straight with DRS.
I'm really enjoying this. I know it's the first race they've gone together, but I'm enjoying this partnership between the racing points. It's as if they're pulling each other along. You know, they're doing good teamwork. It is enjoyable to see those guys working.
Yeah, it's really clever. It looked like they were doing it in USA for a little bit as well, so it's almost telepathic, isn't it? The communication between these two guys, and now it really looks as if Merrill's is going to be under pressure here because these guys on the softs are just going to swamp him. In fact, they've taken so much time, and Jaden now 0.2 behind Merrill's the Wizard, who frankly deserves at least a podium in this race for his drive. But before laps to go, he gets a little bit out of shape going round that tricky corner. And is he dumping his ERS to try and defend from the DRS?
Oh yeah, all of it, all the ERS. Oh my god, it's gone.
And David Dejol, after his spin, has now gone onto the soft tyre, so maybe he's thinking about the fastest lap at this stage. And Jaden is surely going to pull off the move on Merrill's the Wizard, and he does so well before the corner. And DRS Neil, it's a South African party in the top three, all these guys from South Africa, and they're dancing in the streets of Johannesburg tonight with these guys. Fantastic driving, and it's a Pink Panther 1-2 up front. And in terms of the Global Constructors Championship that we run across all three leagues in the Scientist Reverse Grid League, the Racing Point team are leading that, and who would bet against them with these guys up front in Newton League?
Oh yeah, I mean at the moment there's only I think 7 or 8 points in it, but with this is going to send them way up there.
Yeah, Merrill's the Wizard got a little bit, he's lost his end plate. Merrill's got really out of shape in the last couple of corners and has lost front wing end plate, and he could potentially be at the mercy of the Alfa Romeo behind him and lose that podium position. That's really unfortunate for him. And Wisburn has got DRS and is surely going to get Wisburn within the next couple of laps. It will get Merrill's the Wizard within the next couple of laps. And further back, Desert Rat sets the fastest lap of the race, so he's looking for an extra point.
I'm just wondering here as well, I can see that Jaden's got a 3-second penalty, and Neil seems to be backing off a little bit. I don't know if he's going to be pushing those guys back, if he's backing up on purpose to give him that space. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you're right, Eskimo. I think he's using his brain here. And Wisburn gets the move done on Wizard as predicted. And so, unfortunately for Wizards, that mistake into the barrier has probably cost him a podium position, but still a very impressive drive. I mean, Vietnam is a tricky circuit to get right at the best of times. So, yeah, all credit to the Wizard. And so further back, Mitch in P5 is kind of on his lonesome at the moment, just doing his thing. He'll probably get driver of the day considering where he started. And with that comes an extra point. Ice, again, similarly, just having a fairly quiet race, is beginning to catch Mitch a little bit because he's on the soft tyres and Mitch is on the mediums, so there might be a position change between those two towards the end. It's all beginning to settle down a bit now with all the gaps. Sorry, Eskimo, you were going to say something.
No, all good, Sinus, all good.
Right. So let's have a look further back. So we've got Joseph in the Ferrari who recovered from his spin up to P7, so that's a good recovery from him. And as I say that, David Dejol, who also recovered from his spin, sets the fastest lap of the race on a fresh set of softs. Professor still on the hard tyres in P8, Psychopath P9, Rat and Joe 10 and 11. Benjamin, who's never not been able to reconnect to the lobby, unfortunately, is running around in a ghosted P12. And Mirko, who I think has put on a fresh set of softs to try and get fastest lap.
He has, yeah.
And he's binned it coming in the final corner. He's lost end plate damage there, so that'll probably put paid to that effort. But with Benjamin ghosting, you at least get P12, because if you disconnect from the lobby and are unable to rejoin, it's classed as an automatic DNF. So, Eskimo, what are your thoughts so far on this race with 1 lap to go?
Oh, well, I mean, I feel really bad for Merrill's. You know, he's put in a heroic effort. Unfortunate for him, but I've been most impressed with these 2 racing points, to be honest with you. Looks like Wisburn dropping off a bit, all those guys just pulling ahead. But yeah, good race all round. And no safety car in Vietnam. Awesome racing from the guys, awesome racing.
Yep, just the one virtual I think that we had in USA, so hats off to everyone for some good driving tonight. Some great overtakes, some great battles on track, great strategies being played out by David Dejol in USA, and the 2 racing points using each other as a bit of a slingshot tow to get past other drivers here. They've played that to perfection.
Definitely.
So the closest battle on track is between the Renault of Mitch and the Red Bull of Ice, who's got DRS, and Ice is on those soft tyres, so be interesting to see. Oh, and I always get nervous when people go into that hairpin, always thinking they're going to overshoot it. It's a very scary corner. So let's have a look through this very fast left-right section. This is my favourite part of the track, actually. Very difficult to get right, but it reminds me very much of Valencia, the old Valencia street circuit, the final sector there, and it's got a little touch of Silverstone in it with the fast left-right. And what you could just see on my stream anyway, you can just see the difference in the 2 tyre compounds there, how much more grip, how much more Ice is able to push compared to Mitch. And of course he's got DRS to boot, so he's right on the gearbox of the Renault. And I've commentator's curse for Ice. I'm on board with him, and he loses traction going around that corner, and that has saved Mitch's bacon, because he was probably going to lose P5 as we were on the final lap. So apologies to Ice, I just happened to be on board with him when that happened. But still a very good drive from him in P6. It's
also on board with Desert Rat and David Joel going at it on the last lap.
They've been having a battle all night, these 2. It's fantastic. And it looked like he got it just after the first DRS straight, didn't he? So I think the fastest lap has been traded between these 2 guys, I think. So I'm just cutting back to the front. So Jaden is coming through the final corner now on track. He's got a gap of 2.5 seconds to DRS Neil, but will lose that due to penalties. So DRS Neil, championship leader, will extend his lead in the championship. A racing point 1-2 with Wisburn in P3. We've got a yellow flag on the start-finish straight. I'm not sure for what, but Wisburn picks up P3. Merle's the Wizard in P4. Great drive from him. Just lost out in the end to quicker guys on different tyre compounds. The alternate strategy working for them. Mitch in P5, probably the best he could have done given the situation. Ice in P6. Yosef 7th. Professor 8th on those hard tyres. Desert Rat manages to pip David Dejol in the end by 700ths of a second. So we missed that off camera. Maybe, I don't know if that was down to penalties or an on-track overtake. That might be what the yellow flag was for. Psychopath in P11, and Mirko, still coming through the final sector, will claim P12 and the final points paying position because Benjamin's car, Ghostin, will DNF. But by all accounts, Eskimo, that was one of the cleanest Vietnam races I've seen in F1 2020.
I know. It's amazing. What a shitty track though, eh? Goodbye, Vietnam. Goodbye.
Yeah, I think everyone will be glad to see the back of this track. Yeah. And I think that was Mitch getting driver of the day there, so well done to Mitch.
Indeed.
And well, there we go. It's a candy floss podium right there. South Africa 1, South Africa 2, Great Britain P3. The Commonwealth podium right there. So congratulations to the Racing Point boys and to Wisburn for the podium finishes. As we get the final stand-ins from our Newton League race in Vietnam. Fastest lap did go to David Dejeau in the end, and so he will get the extra point, finishing in P10. I've already ran through the order.
By some margin as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rocket lap.
Yeah, good. At least a good couple of seconds on the guys at the front. So final thoughts, Eskimo, on tonight's action.
Brilliant, great racing all round. Like I said, I'll repeat it again, the 2 Racing Points, very impressed with their teamwork tonight, very impressed. Looking forward to watching those into the last few races of the season. Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Eskimo, for joining me in the commentary box and for hosting the lobby tonight. And hopefully we can do this again. I've really enjoyed this. It's been good to get back in the commentary box after a wee break.
Yep, good to hear you back in there, Sinus.
Great, and well done to the guys tonight. Some great racing action. And if you like what you saw and are interested in more from the Scientist Reverse Grid League, then hit that like button, or whatever it is the kids say these days. Smack that subscribe button. I don't know what it is they say. Yeah, I'm not done with it.
Subscribe, click the bell, ding-a-ling. It's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's everything.
That sounds about right. So once again, everyone, thanks for joining, and we'll see you maybe next week for some more racing action from the SRGL. Take care, stay safe, good night.